to this video tutorial for the border that is designed to be worked around the squares that have been compiled into the Wrapped in Jamie crochet along. My name is Petra. I'm also known as Peter Black Sheep, and I have designed the squares, and I'm also hosting the crochet along. So if you want to work the border, a good idea is to have a square to work it around. So let's get started. The best way to work this square is to start with just a normal slip knot, and then attach it into the corner. So we've got the slip knot, we insert the hook, pull the yarn through, and then pull the yarn through both loops. So that's a normal single crochet, and we call that a standing single crochet. And actually I want to get this on this side of the corner. Then we chain 2 and single crochet into the corner again, just like we do with all those kind of rounds. And then we start the border, which is now round 20, with single crochets into the third loops. So we've got the front loop, the back loop, and if we turn around, then we can see the third loop. If you have a pattern that ends in rounds of single crochet, you could make HDCs instead, but just be aware that that will not change your stitch count but the height of the last round. So just be aware, if you want to do that, it's a good idea to do it for all squares. If you find the third loop very difficult and want to replace the single crochets in the previous round with HDCs, half double crochets for example. Another way that you could work round 20 or round 14, if you want to do that, is by making back post single crochets. Just want to show you. So back post single crochet will give you a very similar effect. However, you will see that, well, now of course we've changed that here. The color, if you change color, so the color of round 20 will come through a little bit, which it doesn't when you do the third loops. So whichever way you want to choose, round 20 is either the last round of your square if you don't want to work the border, or it is the first round of the border if you choose to work it, and which I assume you are, because otherwise you wouldn't watch the video tutorial for it. So go ahead and choose your favorite way to work round 20, and then we meet for round 21. Round 21 of the border is pretty straightforward, because after the chain 1 and then the single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into the corner, we simply single crochet across. Make sure you find the first single crochet after the corner, which likes to hide under the second single crochet that we make. And then, well, as I said, it's just single crochet across. So just go ahead and do that, and we meet for round 22 then. In round 22 of the border we have a little repeat, but only a very small one, which we start with 2 single crochet, and then a single crochet in the back loop. So again, well, single crochet, 2 single crochet, and a single crochet in the back loop. That's the repeat, and you just work it until the end. You will have 2 stitches left, in which you make 2 single crochets and then the corner again. So yeah, again, very simple and easy to do. Just quickly go around, and when you have made the 4th side, then slip stitch into the top of the first stitch we made into the corner, and your round 22 will be done. In round 23 we start with the corner, or with the chain 1 and then the corner, and then we've got 12 single crochet. So very easy. Let's just quickly do the 12 single crochet. And then we've got a front loop, or we should have a front loop in the round from the round below next, in which we make a 4DC popcorn. So popcorn made from 4 double crochet. There are different ways to create the popcorn in the end. I like to just take out the hook, insert it into the first of those double crochets, pull the loop through, and close with a chain 1. We skip the stitch behind and have another 17 single crochet. So when you've done 17 single crochet, again the next stitch should have a front loop available in which to work a popcorn again. So once more, 4 double crochet into the front loop of the stitch 1 round below, and that's 3, and 1 more, 4 double crochet, take the hook out, insert, pull through, and close with a chain 1. Skip the stitch behind and end with another 12 single crochet. And then we're in the corner again. So work this on the other 3 sides. 12 single crochet, popcorn, 17 single crochet, popcorn, and 12 single crochet, and then slip stitch into the first single crochet of the corner, and meet me back for round 24. We are now in round 24, which some of you have experienced as a bit of a hit and miss row, or make it or break it. So let me just quickly make you aware of the rhythm that is happening in round 24. So round 24 is where we make those double trebles, or if you prefer, trebles or even triple trebles. So check out what's better for you. Then it would be, well, whatever it is for you. Double trebles, trebles, triple trebles. Check it out. Those, like the V-shaped ones, single ones, and then the double treble 2 together. Okay, there is a rhythm to that. So the rhythm is ahead, pop, back, back, together, ahead, ahead, pop, back, back, together, ahead, ahead, pop, back. Okay, so that will form round 24. So now let's go through it step by step. So we start with, well, of course, the chain 1 to get up and single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Okay, then we have 1 single crochet. Make sure you find the first one. Then there is the double treble 3A 2B, which means from the current stitch, which is this one, we go 3 ahead, 3A, 1, 2, 3, and 2 rounds down, 2B, 1, 2. Yay! There is a front loop. Yeah, and which we made in round 20, 21, 22. So if you're making a double treble, yarn over twice. If 3 times. If you're making a treble, yarn over twice. If you're making a triple treble, yarn over 4 times, and just work in that fashion. Try out what works best for you. I actually think that even for me, maybe sometimes a treble is better instead of a double treble, but please try it out and find the one that works best for you. So, okay, so insert the hook into the indicated front loop, go through, go through, go through, and go through. So in the pattern, it does not state to skip this stitch specifically, because that is mentioned in the intro or in the stitch collection. Whenever we make a stitch in front, we have to skip a stitch in the current row, okay, or current round or current side. So we skip this stitch and the next stitch goes in here. So we make 2 single crochet. And there is also a simple rhythm. There is almost always 2 single crochet between the double treble, the treble 2 together, and the double treble. So just be aware of that. Okay, so always 2 single crochets in between. Then we have a single crochet in the back loop only. Then again 2 single crochet. Okay, and if you have a look at the pictures, so we start with that V shape, which means we have to go back again. We have to make a double treble behind, or treble if you're using treble. Okay, so we go back into the same loop that we worked into before, and we make a double treble. So for now, from now on, I will just say a double treble. You know that if you're making a treble or if you're making a triple treble, that's what you do. Okay, again, we work the stitch in the front, which means we skip the stitch behind, and we make 2 single crochet. And again, we're going backwards. We're going into the stitch 3 behind and 2 rounds below, which is the next free front loop only. So going back into that front loop with a double treble. Again, skip the stitch behind. You should have 2 stitches left just before the popcorn, which we have. So that is a checkpoint for you to see whether you have the correct stitches so far, and whether you've skipped the right amount of stitches here and here and here, and this front loop only or back loop only stitch, leaving us with the front loop only, should be exactly above the one from round 22, which here it is. Yeah, so you know you've done well, you've done it correctly. So now we're doing a double treble 2 together. So the first leg goes into the front loop just before the popcorn. We'll leave 2 loops on the hook. yarn over 3 times again, and now we go into the front loop just after the popcorn from the previous round. And I would like to encourage you to either use stitch markers if you have trouble actually seeing this front loop, then just use stitch markers, or try to find them. Train your eye to see them. It will make your work so much easier. So this is the chain 1 with which we close the popcorn. So the popcorn is the stitch that we skip, and we start the first of our 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and another one, another single crochet. Now see, so we went back together. So now we go ahead into the next front loop. So you can count from here 1, 2, 3 ahead, 1, 2 rounds down, or you can just know that this is the next front loop that we work in. Yeah? But now and then, yeah, just try and count your stitches, become familiar with the work that you do and with the stitch counting and everything. Again, skip the stitch behind this one, 2 single crochet starting in the next stitch. So we had it together, double treble ahead. Now we're going to do the first leg of the V, which is in the middle. I'm going to show you again. Oops. So double treble. And if you look at it, we've got the popcorns, and you know everything is symmetrical. So this stitch is actually truly in the middle of the side, which means we are having another, that's a different size, but yeah, we're going to have another of those stitches that will later on become a diamond. Okay, so we're preparing for the diamond to happen. Skip the stitch behind, 2 single crochet. So now we're above the middle stitch. We do a single crochet in the back loop only, and another 2 single crochet. So if it helps you to think like that, know that this single crochet in the back loop only marks the middle of the side, and from here on we do all the stitches in reverse order, which means if we did a stitch ahead here and here and here together, then now we have to do it symmetrically, which means we have to do a double treble going behind. And in this case, again, this is the same front loop into which we worked before. And another one. So again, we skip the stitch behind. It's not mentioned in the pattern. You should know that. That's why it's not mentioned. Skip the stitch, 2 single crochet. Again, we have to go behind. Next front loop, we go 3 stitches behind, 2 rounds below. Okay, so pretty easy. This is not a difficult round. You often think it is difficult, but it really is not. Skip the stitch behind. As always, you should have 2 stitches left before the popcorn, and yes, hooray, we are there. Yep, so we've got that. Okay, again, a double treble 2 together, just going around the popcorn. So when you see the popcorn, you must know, yeah, we're doing a double treble 2 together. Okay? Because that frames the popcorn and forms the first part of the cross that separates Claire and Jamie, or Jamie and Claire, whichever, or even Frank and Jamie. So if you read the story, then you know. So we go again into the front loop only, that's to one side of the popcorn. And we frame the whole popcorn leave two loops on the hook, yarn over 3 times, or 2 for treble, and find the front loop only that's to the other side of the popcorn. So in our case, right and left, and if you're left-handed, that's left and right. Okay, so again, this is the chain 1 with which we close the popcorn and the stitch that we skip, to single crochet starting with the first in the next stitch. Okay, so which direction are we going? We're going ahead, so that's what we do now again. Going ahead into the next front loop, skip the stitch behind, 2 single crochet starting from the next. Double treble ahead. And see, this is the last front loop that's available to us, and because we work symmetrically, you know that this is going to be a V again. So 2, 3, okay, ahead. Okay, so I'm trying to keep the loops small, but most of them are a bit bigger than the other ones. Don't worry about it, we work over it, it won't be even noticed later on. Skip the stitch behind, 2 single crochet again, and remember that we had the single crochet in the back loop here, so again we do that. Single crochet in the back loop only of the next stitch, and then single crochet again, 2 single crochet I mean, and then we go back into that same front loop that we worked into just before. That's it. And then we skip the stitch behind and we have 1 single crochet left before we are back in the corner. Okie-doke. So that is really all that is to round 24. It's not that difficult. Just make sure you get an idea of what it should look like. Make sure that the popcorn are your alarm points, your checkpoints and alarm points to make double trebles. And then, so there is a double treble, then there is 1 that is part of the arrow, and then there is that V that is part of the next diamond, okay, later on in round 27. Okay, so rewind, do it again 3 times more, and then when you're at the end, a slip stitch into the first of those single crochets that we made in the corner, and that is round 24. Not much more, not much less. Okay, I see you back in round 25. In round 25, we are going to tie up a few loose ends. But first we start with 2 single crochet after the corner. Then one of our special stitches in here is the HTC around. So we yarn over once for the HTC, and can you see the stitch that is the one we skipped when we made the double treble in the previous round? That's the one we go into, and with our yarn over and pull through, we encompass everything that is in between, and then HTC go through all loops. Yeah, so that way we're creating an anchor that will hold this stitch and at the same time close the gap. See that we have a little bit of a gap. If we just worked into the top with a single crochet or whatever, then we would have that gap here. Sometimes it's not bothering. In this case I know it will because I frogged and I've tested. Okay, so followed by 2 single crochet, only yarn over once, and then a popcorn. If you like fat big popcorns, then you can make 5 or 6, how many DCs you want in order to make the popcorn. If you like small popcorns, you can make 3. I find 4 DCs to be the perfect amount to get the size that I want for the popcorn here. You can be flexible. We can always be flexible. We skip the stitch behind the popcorn and we'll make another 2 single crochet. And you will find that this pattern continues. Okay, so we've got HTC around, 2, the popcorn, 2, then again we have a HTC around. So find those loops and HTC. Okay, then another 2 single crochet, and that's practically all there is. Another HTC around, another 2 single crochet. And here comes an exception, because we've got the double treble 2 together from the previous round. In order to close the gap behind, we make a DCBB behind and below into the, let me show you, into the top. See the chain 1 with which we closed the popcorn stitch? So that's the one we make the DC into. Okay, I hope that was clear to see. Okay, and then another 2 single crochet, following the rhythm of the previous round. HTC around, 2 single crochet, another HTC around, and if you remember, 2 single crochet, we had that single crochet in the back loop only here in the middle, so we make another popcorn. There are methods to close the popcorn as you go without the need to take out your hook, so you can just twist and turn the work and somehow work in the back, whatever. I find it just easy and simple, taking out my hook, grab the loop again, pull through, close with a chain 1. Yep. Whichever method you prefer is totally fine. Skip the stitch behind, another 2 single crochet, HTC around. See, it's very almost what's the word? Yeah, it's almost, I can't find a word. Hypnotic, maybe that's the word. HTC around, 2 single crochet. Maybe that's the word. Monotonous. Grab the chain 1 from the popcorn and DC behind and below. The double treble 2 together from the previous round. Yeah, here's the popcorn. We had the DC 2 together, and now we make a DC behind and below, 2 single crochet again. Meditative, we could call it meditative. HTC around, 2 single crochet, HTC around. I think you Americans, you say HTC around. Yeah, here in Australia they say H. In Germany we say ha. Okay, and a popcorn into the front loop of the stitch 1 round below, which is exactly in the middle between those double trebles from the previous round, one ahead and one behind. Okay. Then again grab the loop, close with a chain 1, skip the stitch behind, 2 single crochet, HDC around, and we end, surprise, with 2 single crochet and a corner, single crochet into the corner. Okay, so you don't even have to look at the pattern to get this. It's very simple. 2 single crochet, HDC around, yeah, 2 single crochet, popcorn, 2 single crochet, HDC around, 2 single crochet, HDC around, 2 single crochet, DC behind, 2 single crochet, HDC around, 2 single crochet, HDC around, 2 single crochet, popcorn, 2 single crochet, HDC around, 2 single crochet, HDC around, 2 single crochet, DCBB, 2 single crochet, HDC around, 2 single crochet, HDC around, 2 single crochet, popcorn, 2 single crochet, HDC around, 2 single crochet in the corner. Okay, you got this. That's easy. Okay, good. Repeat on the other 3 sides. Slip stitch into the first stitch of the corner, and we meet back in or for round 26. Alright, so here we are back in round 26 now, which we start with a chain 1 and then the corner, and from here on 2 single crochet, single crochet in the back loop only, then 3 single crochet, which means you should have your 3rd single crochet just before the popcorn stitch, and then behind the popcorn stitch we have a double crochet, so that's a DCBB, double crochet behind and below, which is in the loops of the stitches from 2 rounds below. Then you find the first single crochet or the next single crochet. This is the chain 1 with which we close the popcorn, so the next single crochet is here, and from here we have 8 single crochet. Seven and 8. So your 8th single crochet should fall just before the stitch that is above the double treble together and the DC behind that we made in the previous round. So this is the DC behind, and in here we have a single crochet in the back loop only. Then we have another 8 single crochet. So this is all preparation for the next round, in which we will finish those crosses and diamonds. So until we're there, we need to prepare for that. So we've got 8 single crochet, and the 8 should again fall just before the stitch before the popcorn. Yeah, again a double crochet behind and below. Find the next single crochet. This is the chain 1 from the popcorn. Next single crochet is here. Again 8 single crochet. 7 and 8. And again, this falls before the last single crochet, just falls before the double treble from the round 2 below, and this is the top loop of the double crochet behind and below we made in the previous round. And again, single crochet in the back loop only. So these are your checkpoints if you want. Okay, another 8 single crochet. And 8. There we go. Again, the last single crochet falls just before the popcorn. We have another double crochet behind and below DCBB, and then find the next single crochet. This is the chain 1 from the popcorn, 3 single crochet, single crochet in the back loop only, and then we have 2 single crochet left, and then we are in the corner. Okay, so just do this on all 3 sides. It's very easy, straightforward round, mainly single crochet and DCBB and single crochet in the back loop, that's all. Okay, so go ahead, and when you're done, when you're finished on all 4 sides, slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet we made into the corner, and I meet you again in for round 27. We are back in round 27, which we start with a chain 1, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into the corner, find the first stitch, and then we have 3 single crochet. 3, and you see in the next stitch we have the front loop 1 round below. In this one we make another popcorn, and as I said before, make your popcorns as flat and small or fat and big as you like. I like it average size, and for DC give me the average size that I want for this popcorn. And there are several ways to close it. I take my hook out and insert it in the first double crochet again and close with a chain 1. We skip the stitch behind the popcorn. Oops, made that quite tight obviously. And we have another 3 single crochet. So that should bring you just before the popcorn again. Respectively the DC behind that we made behind the popcorn in the previous round, and now we want to close the diamond, and we do that with a double treble 2 together. And like we said in round 22, if you find that double treble gives you a stitch that is a bit too long and wobbly, try with a treble. If you're a very tight hooker, then you might want to even do a triple treble. So check what is best for you. I will be doing double trebles, but no, every time I say double treble, that is then either treble or triple treble for you if that's what you choose. So the first leg of the double treble goes into the HDC we made in round 25. So just go into here. And if that's too tight for you, I'm going to show you in the next one because we have a few more. So start with yarn over 3 times if you do a double treble. Leave 2 loops on the hook, doing your treble. Again, yarn over 3 times. Again, the second leg goes into the HDC, and I like to just grab the top of this double treble as well. yarn through, go through 2, go through 2, go through 2, and then go through all 3 on the hook. So now we skip the stitch behind, which is the DCBB, just in case you're wondering. Yep, that's the DCBB. Yeah, okay, so easy for you to find. And like in round 26, we've got that 2 single crochet something rhythm again. And now when you look at it, have a look at the finished border, just find your rhythm again. So now we're doing double treble 2 together, then we finish the arrow. Hope you can see that. So we finish the arrow, so that will have to go in the opposite direction than the one we made in round 24. Then we finish the cross, then we have another arrow, then another diamond. So that'll be the rhythm. So let's do it here. So we made 2 single crochet, and the next is a double treble. So if what I wanted to show you earlier, if you're crocheting really tightly, then instead of trying to go through 2, just go through 1. Yeah, because if you're tight anyway, and I want to grab this one as well. If you're tight anyway, then your stitch will be anchored nicely. This is just to anchor the stitch. There is not much more to it. Again, we skip the stitch that is behind the double treble we just made. Another 2 single crochet. Without even looking at the pattern, just look what we're going to do. We're going to finish the cross. So another double treble, and to get that nice cross, Scottish cross-like look with that round bit in the middle here, we go through those 2 loops. This loop here, but also the top loop that is diagonal here from the double treble from round 24. So go through these 2 loops. And again, if you want to avoid those big loops here at the end, I try to keep the loops quite tightly, but if that is still an issue, you don't need to worry about it, because we will just go over them and they will be hidden anyway. Another 2 single crochet. So remember, we had a single crochet in the back loop only, which gives us this front loop, and we use this to make another popcorn stitch. And again, using 4 double crochet to make the popcorn. Let it go, insert the hook, grab the loop, pull through, close with a chain 1. The chain 1 does not count as a stitch, but it becomes the replacement for the popcorn. Skip the stitch behind the popcorn, 2 single crochet. And you just pause for a second, look. Yeah, okay, we wanted to make the cross, so we have to make the 4th leg of the cross. And in order to do that, we yarn over as many times as necessary for the stitch that you choose, and we go in the same loops that we did before and make the same stitch. Well, double treble, 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 treble. Which one works best for you? Skip the stitch behind, another 2 single crochet. Now we have an arrow. So this arrow was down to one side. Now we go, so what was forward? Now we go backwards. Insert into the HDC from round 25. Let me grab this last part as well. There we go. And double treble. Okay, again, this is the last stitch we worked in. This is the one we skip. 2 single crochet. This should bring you just before the next popcorn. And this is the DCBB we made behind the popcorn in the previous round. So, okay, we see we've got a V here, which means we have to make a triangle, and we do that with the double treble 2 together. First leg to the side we're working on anyway, and leave 2 loops on the hook, 3 times yarn over, second leg on the other side of the popcorn, so that we're forming a roof or triangle over the popcorn, and go through all 3. Okay, so now we skip the stitch behind again, another 2 single crochet. Where are we? We just made a diamond, now we have an arrow again. So it's always diamond, arrow, cross. Yeah, so we started with a diamond, arrow, cross, arrow, diamond, arrow, cross. So that's the rhythm. Finishing the arrow. With another double treble. Skip the stitch behind the double treble, and yes, that's correct, it is not mentioned in the pattern because I am assuming that you read the introduction and that you read the stitch collection, which tells you to skip stitches behind if you made one in the front. So our next part is a cross again, so which means we know we had those 2 single crochet. Now we have another double treble and we go through those 2 loops here, okay, with a double treble ahead. We did double trebles in round 24 and they're the same length, which means go 3 ahead and 2 rounds below. Here it's actually a mixture between 2 and 3 rounds below, because that was, this stitch here was 3 rounds below and that stitch here was 2 rounds below, but we say 2 rounds below, you know what we mean. I've shown you in which loops to work on. Another 2 single crochet, and now to finish the cross we have to make another popcorn because we did that before. We just want to keep the symmetry. 1, 2, 3, and another double crochet, and make it a popcorn. Pull through, close with a chain 1. We skip the stitch behind the popcorn and we have 2 single crochet again. So now we need to finish the cross, which means we have to go back into those 2 front loops. One. Okay, skipping the stitch behind, which is this one, 2 single crochet starting from the next stitch. Now we have an arrow. We finish the arrow in the opposite direction, anchor the stitch, anchor the stitch, make a double treble, see, no matter how hard you try, sometimes they just get a little bit bigger. There are a few tricks, and I think in the Facebook group there are a few links that are shared there. And I think it's Helen Shrimpton from Crystals and Crochet, who has a wonderful tutorial how to avoid to have those bigger loops. I will try to link it in the video below, or below the video. So skip the stitch behind the double treble, another 2 single crochet. Okay, we're back at the last diamond, which means we have to make a double treble. So anchor the first leg, almost finish the double treble, leaving only 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, anchor the second leg, and I like to take this little loop as well. Okay, second leg. It's really tight now. But that's what we want. We want it tight. We want it really well anchored. And go through all 3 loops. We skip the stitch behind the double treble 2 together we just made. Another 2 single crochet. Oh, actually, we are at the back, which means we have 3 single crochet now. And then we have the front loop from the back loop only we made in the previous round. So here's another opportunity to have a popcorn stitch. Okay, so 4 close for the popcorn and closing chain 1. Skip the stitch behind the popcorn, and we should have 3 single crochet left. 1, 2, and the last one, here it is, 3, and a single crochet into the corner. Okay, so was not that hard, was it? Okay, just go slow. I think there is even an option to play this video slower if that's what you want. But just keep in mind the big picture. Okay, we've got diamond, arrow, cross, arrow, diamond, arrow, cross, arrow, diamond. And in between we have those popcorns. And all the popcorns are above the other popcorns, respectively, at the beginning and at the end. They are single popcorns. Go ahead and finish on the other 3 sides, and then close with a slip stitch into the first stitch of the corner. That will be around 27. From here on, it's a breeze. It's going to be really easy. Everything we are going to do now you've done before. So I'll meet you back in round 28. Round 28 is more or less a round where we do some cleanups. So we're going to anchor some stitches and tidy everything a little bit up. So we start with 4 single crochet. Make sure you find the first after the corner so that it's not hiding behind the second single crochet. And then we have a double crochet behind in the loops that are free here behind the popcorn from the previous round. Then find the next single crochet. So this is the chain from the popcorn. Then we have 3 single crochet. Okay, so in round 28 you will have a choice. You can either do front post HTCs around all of the double treble 2 togethers and the double trebles, which is what I'm going to show you up until the middle. So let's do that. So yeah, Front post HDC means yarn over, insert the hook under, and then pull the yarn through. Oh, it got stuck here. And pull through all three. This will anchor the stitch here, the diamond, the top of the diamond. And then we have to single crochet again. And we have another front post HDC, to single crochet, front post HDC. So very easy and very simple again. To single crochet, DC behind and below, double crochet behind the popcorn, and we're not in the middle yet, so we keep going. Skip the popcorn stitch here, to single crochet, another HDC, front post HDC, to single crochet, and front post HDC, to single crochet. Okay, and here we are in the middle, and I'm going to make a front post HDC. Okay, so if you look at it here, you will see that by doing the front post HDC, you get, it's really nice and clean, and the stitch is anchored nicely, but you have those little gaps in behind here. In order to avoid them, if that's what you want, instead of making front post HDCs, what you could do is make those HDCs around that we did in round 25 to anchor the stitches from round 24. So you would yarn over, and you would find the stitch that, or the top loops of the stitch behind or below the double treble to double treble 3A to B in that case, and you would just HDC around and then to single crochet again. So instead of making the front post HDCs like we did here in the beginning around the double trebles, you make the HDCs. So, and the rest is the same, except I would like to give you a third option for the double treble two together later on. Let's just go here. So DC behind the popcorn, to single crochet, then the HDC around again, just finding those loops, very easy, closing the gap, 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, again HDC around, so insert in those top loops, and HDC, 2 single crochet. And now instead of making a front post HDC here at the top of the popcorn, you could, if you wanted, also do a HDC, and you insert into those top loops just like you did for the double trebles, and then you make a front post HDC as well, or HDC around as well. You see, that closes the gap here, and it gives that diamond shape a distinct hook or a distinct point here, and then 3 single crochet, DC behind, double crochet behind, and 3 single, no, it's 4 single crochet, and then we are in the corner, so that's a corner. Okay, so you see how that looks different here with this option, the front post HDC around. The top of the diamond and the bottom of the diamond, they look quite similar. With this HDC around, it's a bit different. So you've got the bottom here, which is a bit more roundish, and here this distinct point, the hook kind of. Yes, so whichever way you choose, front post HDCs or HDCs around, just continue with this on the other 3 sides, and then when you're finished, slip stitch in the first single crochet of the corner, and that is your round 28 with an alternative. Choose which one you prefer, and we meet again for round 29 and round 30. Round 29 is very simple. I've already done the corner, and all you do in round 29 is single crochet across. If you have difficulties single crocheting in the 3rd loop, what you could do here is, instead of making single crochets, you can do HDCs, half double crochet. It'll be easier to find the 3rd loop in the next round, which is round 30. So round 30 is the same as round 20 and round 14, which means you single crochet across in the 3rd loop. As I said, if you have difficulty single crocheting in the 3rd loop with single crochets, when you do round 29 in single crochets, make round 29 in half double crochets, and then that way round 30 will be a breeze. So, as I said, very easy, single crochet across round 29, single crochet in 3rd loops in round 30. And that is your border then. You just have to do it all the way around, finish in the first single crochet, in the slip stitch in the first of the single crochet in the corner, and then your border will be done. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please subscribe to the channel so you get updated automatically when I upload a new video, and I will see you for one of the next squares. Bye!